So welcome all of you here once again in another session, and we start now, and we'll be discussing another mock keeping current level into consideration. Let's start the session without any delay. People watching it live later, all welcome from my side. Let's go straight. What's in store today? The same new pattern based questions with new variations. Let's go ahead. The first one. Welcome all of you here. Nancy, Jay, Janendra, Prerna, Gunjan, Radhe Radhe, Isha, Rohit, God bless you, brother. Har Har Mahadev. Priya, Wrinkle, Virat, good evening, Radhe Radhe. Kajal, Radhe Radhe, Jai Ma Kali. Ankit, Divyanshi, no problem. Priya, speechless right now. How it ended. Ankit, Sumedha, Neha, Vaishnavi, welcome. Neha. So correction in the second one. Prerna, Shikha, perfect. Because you can't say proceed as scheduled. Proceed is to come before, not as per the schedule. But things go on as per the schedule are supposed to be proceed. Okay, perfect answer, everyone. The committee, noun, which, pronoun, recommendations, noun. There shouldn't be three nouns or pronouns together. The committee whose recommendations were accepted, I'm sorry, or say the committee, the recommendations of which were accepted, because we are not talking about the committee, we are talking about the recommendations of that committee. So need that possessive case here, not the subjective or the objective. So the committee whose recommendations, despite the heavy rainfall, despite that, the concert proceeded. If you precede it, put it first. The next word says as scheduled. As per the schedule, things must go on. If you precede them, it won't happen as per the schedule. So that should go on. That is not proceed, that is proceed. So it proceeded as per the schedule. It went on as per the schedule. Type 3. Exactly. See, The manager informed that if the client would have conditional clauses can never be in future. Conditional clauses can never be in future. If you work hard, you will succeed. If you worked hard, you would succeed. If you had worked hard, you would have succeeded. That way. So the first conditional clause can never be in future. The results can be in future. So could have, okay, not would have there in the conditional clause. Free marks, I think. Okay, call the shots. Discuss the main argument, the main topic, the main idea, and such. Discuss the main topic and such. The director called the shots by dialing every stakeholder to confirm the attendance. It doesn't mean to confirm something. Referee called the shots by counting the points on the scoreboard. It doesn't mean to count points on the scoreboard. The announcer called the shots as he read the letter aloud. It doesn't mean to read something aloud. But after the merger, the board began to call the shots on investments, and they'll be discussing how to make those strategic investments after the merger. Correct? Prerna, Priya. Welcome, Manish. Good evening, brother. Okay. To jump on the bandwagon, keeping the current date in mind, there's a trend. I'm not defaming or belittling, just putting an example. Precise, I think. Using Gemini, we are generating that red sari image, right? That is jumping on the bandwagon because you are just following the trend. Some months ago, we had that Ghibli art through ChatGPT, Grok, and such. Everyone's doing that. Let me do that. You jump on the bandwagon, you follow the trend. Exactly. You follow the trend. Follow what the others are doing. Follow the fashion. The circus performer jumped on the bandwagon to begin the evening show. It's the literal meaning to jump on some wagon to begin the show. Now, musician jumped on the bandwagon that was carrying the instruments. It's literally some wagon here. Children jumped on the bandwagon excitedly during the parade. No, it's the literal sense here. The only idiomatic after seeing the company's success, many investors decided to do the same with similar ventures. That's the theme. Okay, verbose, putting more words than necessary. So the antonym should be brief, putting fewer words than necessary. Wordy, using words pretty much. Synonym. Eloquent, using words not pretty much, but still using words, not lack of words or few words. Articulate, to put words properly. Laconic, few or less in terms of usage. Putting your meaning in few words perfectly. Laconic. Hmm. Yes, Priya. Rohit. Virat. Yes, Nancy. That will be updated today. Bubbly. Welcome. Um, Sanguine Optimistic, hopeful, that's the meaning, but we are asked the antonym. Confident, cheerful, all synonymous. Pessimistic. Veracious, from verity, that is truthfulness, exact meaning of the word. So that will be authentic. Antonym once again, that will be honest. Mendacious, fake, false, bogus. No problem. Welcome, Vedansh. All well, brother. Radhe Radhe. Not fixed. Secondary. Perfect. Okay. Assiduous, hardworking, diligent, exact meaning of the word since we are asked the synonym. Indolent, rude, cursory, superficial, secondary, slapdash, harsh. Equanimity is from equal, mind. The one in a difficult situation is cool, calm, composed. In a happy situation is still cool, calm, composed, not exaggerating pretty much, is equanima. That means state of mind remains equal in all situations. Agitation will be, your state of mind is going to be angry for some reason. Exhilarate, extremely happy for some reason. Diffidence, lack of confidence. None of these define equal state of mind. Cool, calm, composed, that equal state of mind. Adesh ka palan, Manish. I'm sorry, brother. I will. We should always attempt the exam with equanimity. Rohit 12C. फिर कहोगे मेरे को क्यों तोड़ा? Exactly, everyone. The team will have completed future perfect. Will have been completed seems good to me. No have, no will, no will. He said, I shall submit the report tomorrow. I'll check tomorrow first. So in this one tomorrow, in this one tomorrow, drop either first or the last one. If all the data is, hold on a sec. The data is ready. In past will be data was ready. Why data would be ready? It's not will be ready here. The first, second, third all dropped. What about the fourth one? Is that correct? He said that shall becomes would. Yes, it does because I, first person, takes shall. He, second or third person, at the same time takes will, and shall becomes would in that case. That's precise. That's even precise. That he would submit the report the next day if the data was perfect. Virat, no brother. I used to think of the same. Who, whom, which. Adjective clause because relating to a noun. When, why, where. Adverb clause because defining manner, place, time. But they define that manner, place, time for a noun as well. That's the place where I was born. The place, noun, adjective clause. Same happening here. Check what they are modifying. See, you know the reason? Which reason? Why she refused the promotion? That reason remains unclear. Reason is noun. Anything that defines a noun, adds meaning to a noun or a pronoun is supposed to be an adjective. So that's an adjective clause. Although it starts with an adverb, why? But modifying the whole clause is modifying that noun, not modifying any verb. Yes. No, 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 not noun clause, adjective clause. You already have a noun, the reason. Which reason? You are just modifying the meaning of the reason. Okay. Unless the weather improves significantly, the match will be postponed indefinitely. Unless the weather improves, the match will be postponed. Noun clause? No, a noun cannot come here. We have a noun already. Not modifying the match. Adverb clause of time, but it puts a condition because unless is equal to if plus not. So that should be condition. Ankit, you shall be blocked forever from all platforms. I hope you can hear this. Maturity. Manish. No, Prerna. Just a random experiment from my side. Just a random experiment to make you aware. Look at the instructions, please. You are asked the British English one, not the American one. A person who has a chronic neurological disorder that impairs the brain's ability to regulate sleep-wake cycles. Insomniac? Insomniac is the one who is unable to sleep, not the chronic disorder that impairs the ability to regulate sleep wake cycles. Wake, not able to sleep. That's the opposite one. Somnambulist, ambula, walk, somna, the one who walks in sleep. Hypochondriac is not at all related to sleep. It's about my condition is bad. There's something wrong about my health. Something wrong about my health. Who is excessively preoccupied with his health. So no, that should be the answer out of elimination, and that is correct. Okay, in American English, we or computers, we usually use program, but in British English, I hope you know that's the spelling. They don't exist. Prerna, but the instructions were clear. Choose the British English one, not the spelling of the word, the British English variation. A random experiment from my side. Yes, exactly, exactly. Exactly. Bring forth will be to put forward, but we are still changing, improvements. So about is a better choice, brother. Your opinions always welcome. Okay, being that the weather was unfavorable, you don't need being here. You need a conjunction because you have a complete sentence. The weather was unfavorable. The picnic was cancelled by the organizers. The weather was unfavorable. Okay, picnic was cancelled. So that's the reason. The weather was unfavorable. That's why picnic was cancelled. Okay, since defines reason, done. Although indicates contrast. Unless is if plus not. There is no condition such if the weather is not unfavorable, picnic was cancelled. If it is not unfavorable, that means it is favorable. Why would we cancel the picnic then? As far as doesn't define this reason variation. And yes, the new guidelines are designed to bring about improvements. Fourth will be to put forth. What's your opinion? What's your opinion? All put your opinions forth for discussion. This is to bring about some changes. So the same again. Yep. Yes, I was born and brought up in MP. Gunjan. Shikha, same here. And we can skip, no problem. That's the flow, what I felt. The first one relates to some other one. Then 3 hours straight. Straight not means PQR straight. That means they will be together. You can say 435, 345. That means these three statements will be together for sure. The last one is the last one. That relates to the last one. Okay, let me hint. No problem. You start with PQRS, your choice. What do you think should be the ending statement after S1 and PQRS in whichever order we put? Ending statement, which relates to the last one. R. R. Not at all. Sanju, not bad. Hello. The first statement is the village cricket club set out to rebuild the weather-beaten pavilion before the new season. So we'll be rebuilding the pavilion pretty soon. That's the theme. You can mention everything, and then in the end or at the end you would say a carpenter found the original in storage. Carpenter, you better know what carpenters do. And then you will say the pavilion felt new without losing the habits of its shade and echoes. No, Priya has a better choice. Rohit. Virat. Nancy, perfect. Okay, your views, my views may differ because I created this. But let me say, how can S be ending? Okay, let me pray now. Let me tell you. See, I want to rebuild my house, pavilion, my kitchen, etc. Okay. To rebuild it, I may need money. The only statement which is the odd one out of these four, and that links well to the first one. To rebuild a pavilion, we need money. Fundraisers selling this at away matches and auctions, signed bats on market day. That's the way we can, get some money to rebuild it. Fundraisers, they themselves say. There is no other option. There is no other option which talks about Q doesn't exist in the passage if it is not put after S1. Now, everyone, objections please. Don't assume Q the first one, but may I say PRS or RPS as the ending one because it links well to S6. How? Your theme is we are rebuilding our pavilion, so we got some money from someone, architect came, a carpenter came, and by April, feel the sentence. And by April, the scoreboard's clack answered the bowler's run up as if nothing had paused. If you say nothing had paused, that means it is rebuilt. Because there is no delay, there is no problem now. The scoreboard is working perfectly as if nothing had happened. That means it is all built. Prerna. Now I can say the pavilion felt new without losing the habits. Just talking about the carpenter can't make me feel the pavilion felt new. Just talking about the architect can't make me feel the pavilion felt new. And just talking about fundraising cannot make me feel the pavilion felt new. I got some money first. I invited the engineers, the designers, the carpenter, the architect, and by April, it was like nothing had happened. That means it was built or rebuilt. Now things are going ahead. Nice one. Thank you. 19-20 का ही तो डिफरेंस है. No, +2 -2 का डिफरेंस है. Exactly, brother. Okay, objections welcome because this is officially mine, so you can say whatever you want. You can mark if there's a better choice. Okay, you want to build something, you want to build your house, money stands first, then the designer, and then in 6 months, don't we say that? In 6 months, in 2 years, the mall was built like it started yesterday. That's the time expression which shows like Prerna. Okay, now it's welcome. So Q the first one available in 2, but S the ending one. Q first, S ending, and carpenter, architect, and built. S the ending one. PRS, RPS, no problem. Rohit. Shikha, is that okay now? Thank you. Think about elimination again. Fantastic. Straight down the boundary for maximum. Priya, have a look again. Two statements are talking about something quite similar. Two statements are talking about something quite similar. Prerna. Okay. The mountain village's ancient temple drew pilgrims from distant regions. Okay, I may talk about these distant regions. People come from. Legend spoke of. Okay, so this is not about distant regions. This is probably talking about the temple. Legend spoke of miraculous healings that occurred within its sacred walls. Modern transportation, that must be talking about distant regions. Made the remote location distant region more accessible to visitors. Okay. Local guides shared stories. They are speaking of this. They are sharing stories, legends, local guides. I would say PR together. We'll check later. RP, PR, temple keepers. Okay. Tourism increased. If I say transportation, you can say tourism increased, bringing prosperity and this and that. Okay, I would say QS together, maybe SQ, no problem. PR together, maybe RP. QS together, maybe SQ. Okay, PR and QS. Flat, maybe the answer. PR, no. PR is yes, but QS is not together. PR, no. PR, no. Done. Done. Thanks to both of you. आपका बड़प्पन। Thank you again. No direct answer, but all inference based, keeping the tone of the passage. The entrance notice most strongly suggests that the cafe's goal is to, what was the entrance notice? It was, we fix things together, you leave knowing how. Provide free repairs to all residents regardless of their income. Nothing such is there in the passage. Certify volunteers for professional repair work. But I read that people soon discovered holding a torch made the fix feel like theirs. They did it. So it is not like professional repair work. Collect broken items for recycling when the repair is impossible, not stated in the passage. But yes, ensure participants gain practical skills through collaborative fixing. They were also holding a torch. They were also steadying a wheel, threading a needle, together, the collaboration that has been emphasized. The practice of recording cattle, lesson learned. That was a failed attempt, I think. We did this new life, new life, new life. Sometimes a repair failed and the telly added a different line. Cattle, no problem. Lesson learned. Uh, Discourages bringing complex items that might fail. Prefer to hide, but they said no one hid, second form of hide, it either. So they were not hiding. Nope. Uses failure statistics to apply for council funding. No. Considers failed attempts a meaningful part of the learning process. So even something fails, we learn a lesson. Perfect. The shift from drop off expectations to hand on work implies, okay, you leave it, take it tomorrow. No, 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 no. Sit here. You do the collaborative fixing. uh, that visitors were required to sign liability forms, nothing has been there in the passage. They lacked the patience necessary, but they were also holding a torch, steadying a wheel, so no. They were prevented from observing due to safety rules, no, they were participating. Initially misunderstood the cafe's participatory model. The coordinator's response to the counselor primarily reframes impact as quantifiable landfill reduction verified by data sheets. No, he didn't answer this way. Did you reduce the landfill in any measurable way? The coordinator pointed to the board, then to the tables. A child was teaching her grandfather how to patch a puncture he fixed 20 years ago. We save more than parts. We save the habit of mending. So they didn't provide any sheet. No. Improved municipal recycling rates due to parts recovery, cost savings, cultural change more than that towards mending as a transferable habit. Transferable from grandfather to the child. Overall message of the passage is functions, cafe functions as a social enterprise that competes with local shops, not there in the passage. Replaces professional services by mobilizing. No one was mobilized. Depends mainly on donations. It was there, but not mainly on donations. Transforms repairs into shared learning that sustains the repair culture. Okay, let's go ahead. Objections welcome. I have one more RC because we have time. Some 15 minutes are there, so we can spend, if you say one more RC, yes, you can finish in 10-12 minutes. Objections welcome. Manish. Shaw, take care. Hmm. Sure. Done. Showing questions in seconds. Ask me if you want to see the passage again. Rohit. Out of elimination and as per the passage also. Okay, done. Thank you. The clerk's practice of asking people to describe how they used an item suggests he believes that retrieval depends primarily on matching serial numbers he didn't match throughout the passage. Recognizing personal association. Actually, that was the first gift by my aunt. It was the first one that was given to me. That was my first search and search. So yes, it had some personal memory and detail. Limiting the queue length before the closing time, it didn't happen. And putting expensive items over there, those, no. Returned by touch implies that the clerk values chain of custody documentation will not include touch. Speed of service over accuracy. No. Discouraging. No, he didn't. He didn't discourage the children. Returned by touch. That was for the children himself or itself. Non-verbal cues that you can't say but feel as valid evidence for identification. That is touch, your sensory detail. The supervisor's preference for the computer system versus the clerk's ledger highlights a tension between automation of storage and the cost of shelves hasn't been discussed. Staff scheduling and overtime payments haven't been discussed. Charity's timetable hasn't been discussed, but the numerical outputs and the qualitative traces of recovery as per the numbers or as per the feelings, emotions, senses, and such. Memory preferred texture to fact. Once again, the same answer. Texture stands for sensory details. People call and feel and use more than official descriptions and such. Okay, focused on emotional value rather than timelines. Filled with brand names, nothing was there. Anchored in those sensory specifics rather than the formal identifiers. Unreliable, nothing was such. All was praised. Preferring memories, preferring that sensory detail. Okay. And the manager's acceptance of the clerk's explanation as a policy suggests within the depot effective changes most likely to happen through informal craft that later gets translated into procedure. That's what the clerk wanted. No numbers, official documentations and such. Okay. Strict enforcement wasn't there. Budget increases, no. And no publicity or. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Bye-bye. Take care. Be safe. See you pretty soon. All the best from my side. Those who have their examinations, see you pretty soon. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for being here, everyone. Thank you. Vaishnavi, always. Prerna, Bubbly, Kajal, Jema Kali, Nancy, thanks a lot. Better. Rohit, thanks a lot, brother. You too, from my side. Gunjan, Divyanshi, Prerna, should be next week and soon for tier 2. Prerna, soon for tier 2. Stay connected. Neha, Isha, Neha, I don't remember, but yes, soon we will have. Don't worry about that. Stay connected. We'll get notification before the class starts for sure, every time. Prerna, stay connected, please. Thank you, Queen, Jai Shri Shyam, Ankit. Okay. Take care, everybody. See you pretty soon. Thanks a lot.